Most men think their problem is the morning. They think the solution to getting their life together is waking up earlier, finding the perfect morning routine, or finally becoming the kind of guy who jumps out of the bed at 5 o'clock in the morning ready to go. But if you really look at what's happening, the problem usually isn't the morning. The problem is the night before. Hey, this is Ken, and this is Life Moves with Ken. On this channel, we talk about what it looks like for men to move their lives forward with intention, not hype, not quick fixes, but through discipline, direction, and the kind of habits that really slowly shape who we become. Because life moves whether you're ready or not. And the goal here is simple, to make sure that we're moving with it. Today, I want to share steps to finishing your day well. And if you've ever awakened in the morning feeling like you're already behind, then this video is for you. You know what it's like. The alarm goes off, and then all of a sudden there's this sense of, oh my God, I'm behind. Oh my gosh, I'm late. You check your phone and you start rushing through the basics of your day. And then before the day has even really begun, you already feel like you're trying to catch up. So naturally, that adds a lot of stress. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some simple steps that we can take. Instead of trying to create a perfect morning routine, what we decide to do is we decide to plan by starting with the night before to set up the day that's to come. That way the morning always feels fresh, and that way you always feel connected as you wake up in the morning because you're inheriting the energy from the night before. Did you know that most evenings, they really don't end intentionally? They drift. And so you get home, think about it. You get home from work, you finish your responsibilities for the day, and you just sit down to relax for a bit. You tell yourself you'll just check your phone for a few minutes, or you'll watch something on TV for a while, and then suddenly an hour has passed, 2 hours pass, and nothing terrible has happened, but nothing intentional has happened either. So in order to accomplish this idea of a structured day, what we're gonna do is learn how to close the day on purpose. And so here's how it looks. You take 5 minutes to review your day and ask yourself 3 simple questions. Every day you ask, what did I do well today? You ask, what still needs my attention tomorrow? And you ask, what is the one thing that matters the most tomorrow? By writing those things down somewhere simple in your notebook or on your desk, or even just in a little sticky for your desk, somewhere that you'll see it in the morning, you're creating a habit, and that habit does 2 powerful things. First, it gives your mind closure. Instead of carrying unfinished thoughts into the next day or into the night, you've acknowledged them and put them somewhere. Second, it gives the next day a clear starting point. So when you wake up in the morning, you're not starting with the day wondering where to begin. You already know what matters most. And that small shift removes a surprising amount of friction the next morning. The second step is to decide when the day ends. You literally have to decide, my day has ended at this point. And for a lot of men, what they do is they never really end the day. They just kind of fade into exhaustion. And so one of the most helpful things you can do is choose a simple end of the day boundary. So what you do is you pick a time when the day is finished. And at that point, all work stops. The scrolling stops. The noise of the day begins to quiet down. And this doesn't have to be anything rigid. So don't think like at the very second it has to end. That's not what I'm talking about. What we're doing is being intentional about the moves that trigger our brain into thinking, oh, this is the end of my day. And so when your mind knows when the day ends, it becomes much easier to transition into rest. And you'll find that your sleep improves, your energy improves, and the next morning doesn't feel like such a heavy lift. And so a lot of what we call discipline problems are actually energy problems. What this is when the brain continues to focus on unfinished business of a moment before or the night before. And so you actually never stop working mentally. And so when you wake up in the morning, it makes sense that you're tired. When you create the end of the day boundary for yourself, what you're doing is tricking your brain into saying, this is it. And so it's a signal to shut down and to change focus. And what this does is it actually protects your evening. And protecting your evenings protects your energy. Hey, at this point, if any of this is speaking to you and you're like, oh my gosh, that's me, do me a favor. Hit the like and subscribe button. This helps me to keep bringing relevant content to you that can help you make life moves. All right, so back to what we're talking about, this third step. The third step in the process is incredibly practical. All you have to do is prepare tomorrow in one small way. And so what I like to do is I like to wipe my desk down. I like to clear all the clutter off of it. And then I like to put my computer on it and turn it on sleep. So what happens for me is throughout the day, I'm all over the place working. Primarily, I do a lot of my work from home. And so sometimes I like to sit at the table. Sometimes I like to sit at my desk. Sometimes I like to sit on the couch. Even sometimes I like to sit in my bed. And no matter where I'm working throughout the day, what I do know is that the next morning, I'm going to need to be at my desk because I start every single morning with prayer online with a group of members from the church and other folks who just log on. And so what we do is we come every morning at 7 o'clock. But for me to do that, I'm at my desk. I have microphones, I have sound for music and all of that. And so that can only happen at my desk. In order for my day to start in a smooth way, I want to make sure that my space is organized. So I clean my desk off. I make sure that all the coffee cups that I have to start the day are gone. And then it gives me a boundary to start my morning. But the boundary that starts my morning begins with the boundary that ended my day, with my computer on sleep at my desk, ready to go for the next morning. These things are simple, but they matter more than you realize, because when morning arrives, you'll already be stepping into your plan for the day. And that makes it so much easier to move into your day. Now, what makes these small changes powerful is not the individual actions themselves, it's the patterns they create. Remember, our brains work in patterns. By setting this pattern where you finish your day with intention, it will help your brain to feel less scattered. It'll help your mornings to feel cleaner, and the day begins with direction instead of reaction. And so you begin to feel like you're actually moving with your life instead of chasing it. And for a lot of men, that shift alone changes everything. So try this one and let me know how it worked out for you by sending a message in the comments. We are training our brains and changing our lives one move at a time. And the evening is one of the best places to start building the feeling of movement and success. So if you've been trying to fix your mornings, but nothing seems to stick, take a look at how your evenings are ending, because the way a man finishes his day often tells you exactly how he's going to begin his morning. If this helped you think about your life a little differently, consider subscribing to the channel. And here on Life Moves, you got to know we're focused on becoming the kind of men who move forward with intention. Not perfectly, not all at once, but steadily. Because real change rarely comes from dramatic moments. Real change comes from the quiet decisions we repeat every single day. I say this every time. I love you. And remember this, you're not starting over. You're just starting from here. This is Ken, and this is Life Moves with Ken. So glad that you're here. I'll talk to you next time.